Hey, this is Sam Black with my second match with Grixis Madness in Modern. This hand doesn't have any Madness outlets, so it might not work well, but I'm going to try it. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking for in hands with this deck yet, and I want to see if this one works out or not. So I'm just going to start with an Inquisition. I think I'm actually going to take this. Yeah, I'm going to take the Silvergill Adept. I'm a little tempted to leave it so that my opponent plays it next turn and I can Gravecrawler and Dark Salvation, but I think the card advantage is going to be better than anything else. I don't think I'm going to win this game. I think I just get a mountain here, preserve my life total. That was very good. Now I can discard Gravecrawler and Prized Amalgam and play Cryptbreaker, and then my opponent has to... Actually, I wonder if I want to not play the Cryptbreaker so that I can play Cryptbreaker and Gravecrawler next turn and then get the Prized Amalgam. Because if I play Cryptbreaker now, my opponent can path it, which stops me from getting back the Gravecrawler. But then my opponent's not playing the Reejerey and is giving me a land. How much does the mana next turn matter? If this is already in play, I can turn the Gravecrawler, and then I can play another land that taps for black and Dark Salvation for 0, which is only 2, which is not enough to kill the Lord at that point. But I think that my opponent not playing the Reejerey and giving me another land is actually really good for me. But it's really bad if this happens and my opponent gets to Lord and Path. So maybe it was wrong since there's not a lot of upside to having this in play early. I guess my opponent didn't wait to upkeep it. Okay, so now I get to Gravecrawler. This worked out really well, because now I get to Gravecrawler. But I still don't have enough zombies to Dark Salvation and kill one of these. So I guess I'll just play Polluted Delta and pass. Get a Prized Amalgam. have played Watergrave to save myself a shock next turn if I want to get to 5 mana, but it would give me an island now, but I guess an island now doesn't matter since my grave colors can't block anyway. But I might end up just wanting to stay on a not island plan. I'm going to get another Blood Crypt here. So now I can Faithless Looting and discard Fiery Temper, or I can Dark Salvation for 1. Fiery Temper is not enough. My opponent's Merfolk are all 4/4s, so I'm going to Dark Salvation for 1. I'm not going to play the Watergrave and Salvation for 2 because I think I need to block. This is going to be really bad if my opponent has another removal spell. So I'm dead to something that gives me an island. If my opponent can't advance here, and I get to Fiery Temper, then things get a lot better. This looks good for me. So now I think my options are to sacrifice Bloodstained Mire, going to 2, and then cast Grey Merchant, in which case I die to a counterspell because the Mutavault kills me. Or I could just attack with these 2 and pass, and then try to Fiery Temper the Mutavault. And then if my opponent has a counterspell, I go to 1. I could play the Watergrave tapped, so that I then have 5 mana and can cast the Grey Merchant to get away from being at 1. I think the answer is that I should lead by attacking and see what happens. Potentially get a little more information. Alright. Really tempted to just play the Grey Merchant. Then I'm going to play the Watergrave and pass. I'll cast the Grey Merchant. It looks like my opponent flooded just enough and I had just enough removal to survive this game. think I'll just pass. I don't think I need to do anything else to win. Just less clicking in Dark Salvation. Alright, so I want more removal. Maybe even Thoughtseize. Let's see. I don't want... Stockpile is probably pretty slow. I could just board out Jace to try to plan to not get an island. I actually kind of like that. Jace is very good in my deck and in this matchup, but searching out a blue is really bad. And I can board out a blue land and bring in a Thoughtseize. Grave Scrabbler doesn't seem good at all. Let's get some more Thoughtseizes. This also helps maximize black cards for Nightshade Assassin. Though it doesn't make it easier to cast the Nightshade Assassin since I have fewer discard outlets. It's possible the Jace is just too good for this approach. I guess Liliana is coming in and that's another discard outlet. And I can just use Crypt Breaker as a discard outlet. Let's try it this way. This isn't going to work. Okay. Definitely bottom this, just looking for land. Should probably get red-black, although it's going to be a while until I need red. I do care about my life total. Sure, I'll get a swamp. Thoughtseize. Probably have to take the Spreading Seas here. I could cast Gravecrawler, but I think I want to be able to discard it to get Prized Amalgam back. The Gravecrawler doesn't really, like, I'm either going to stabilize or not, basically. So the clocking with Gravecrawler doesn't accomplish anything. And I have Mutavault, so I can cast it to get the Amalgam. And it's not going to go to my graveyard if I cast it, because my opponent has no reason to block it. So we're just going to pass. I'm going to kill the Reejerey and make my opponent discard. Let's see. Should I add more? There's this. Should I add an Urborg or something? Maybe I should play one. Trying to decide between Liliana Plus and Cryptbreaker. Liliana Plus is more mana efficient. Buys me some life, but it probably just gets killed. Cryptbreaker lets me block with a Mutavault. I'm going to pass the Liliana. I think the mana efficiency and pseudo life gain is more important. So my opponent has to animate Mutavault if they want to kill Liliana. Or they don't have to if they just play Lord of Atlantis, I guess. I'm in a lot of trouble this game. Alright, so I can discard Fiery Temper and kill Lord of Atlantis and play Cryptbreaker. I guess I'm still dead. My opponent can Tectonic Edge a Mutavault that I try to block with. And that's only 2 blockers anyway. I guess 2 blockers blocks Mutavault and Silver Glad, but the Tectonic Edge stops me from doing it. I guess we'll make sure that my opponent sees that and goes for it, but I am dead here. Yep, so that dies, and I can only block one thing, and I die. I think Jace is probably too important to what my deck is doing for it to be right to cut it. Let's assume Grey Merchants is slow. Assume I need the island. And probably just cover the Thought Seizes. Gravecrawler is really bad, but it's kind of important to the Prized Amalgam thing. I could... What happens if I try to just cut Gravecrawler and Prized Amalgam? Does it work? It looks like that. Or I could have Stockpile in. I don't have a lot of zombies for Stockpile. I think this is worse. Scrabbler's pretty bad too. The zombies help power up the Dark Salvation. And I think functional Dark Salvations are very important to my plan. This hand's really bad. This is a little bit less bad. I thought I ended up cutting all the Thought Seizes, but I guess I left at least one in. Doesn't matter what I do with this, I'm about to shuffle. Start by just getting a swamp. But I'm gonna check my library and see if there's some kind of meta issue or something that stopped my sideboarding. Make sure my Jaces are actually in. Nope. My sideboarding just didn't take effect. So I do not have Jaces in my deck. Yeah, that's just how that is. Okay, so how much do I care about Rest in Peace? My hand has cards that are bad against Rest in Peace, but no way to put them in the graveyard to take advantage of that. Yeah, I think I have to just cast these, which means Rest in Peace isn't really very good. Maybe I just take Rejury. Just going to be casting Prized Amalgam, so I have to get an island, so I may as well do it now. Yeah, I need Fire Temper to be on. So second Lord of Atlantis is going to mean I can't block. If I draw a land, I can Gravecrawler and Dark Salvation for 1. Can't block. So I just play those two and pass. Yeah, fighting out Jace was definitely wrong, but I also tried not to set out Jace, so... yeah, so I can Dark Salvation one of these for 1, but my opponent can just Echoing Truth my Gravecrawlers in response, which will stop it from killing the Lord of Atlantis, which will kill me. My only out here is that my opponent... well, that doesn't matter. I was going to say my opponent Echoing Truth's my Prize Amalgam. Alright, well, see if my opponent makes an inexplicable error. Nope. Alright, I'm dead.